Welcome again to the SundayGorilla Men's Bible Study. I'm Brother Thomas Lee Harris III, and today we are in the book of James, and I think we left off on what chapter? The third chapter. Yeah, we're in the third chapter of the book of James, and I'm gonna jump right in it. James chapter 3, verse 1. My brethren, let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. For we all stumble in many things. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle the whole body. Indeed, we put bits in horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn their whole body. Look also at ships, although they are so large and are driven by fierce winds, they are turned by a very small rudder, wherever the pilot desires. Verse 5. Even so, the tongue, as a little member, and boasts great things. See how great a forest a little fire kindles. So, once again, James is an instructional book, and it gives the components of what a Christian, a believer, should be made up of. And here he's talking about, in verse 2 he says, for we all stumble in many things, but if anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man. And he's going to hone in on the tongue. And he puts emphasis on how powerful our words are. And then he gives two examples. For example, a horse is huge, but a little bit in the mouth, it changes the whole direction of the horse. And same thing, he shows significance of how large a ship is compared to the rudder, the little rudder that turns the ship and sends it in whatever direction that the rudder turns, that the pilot or the captain who's controlling the rudder, he can turn this humongous ship. And he's putting significance on the power of our little tongue, little in our members, but the power that it has. And just like a little spark, a kindle, set off a whole forest fire, this tongue is that powerful. So he makes significant reference to the tongue. Verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no one can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Verse 9. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not be so. For does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus no spring yields both salt water and fresh water. So once again, he's saying that the tongue has the power to go in the direction that the mind sends it, the captain sends it. And he makes reference that we curse and bless with the same mouth, but it's not supposed to be that way. You know, that is an uncontrolled mind. Or James makes reference in James chapter 1, an unstable, a double-minded man that's just blowing, the mad one day, happy the next minute happy, mad, cursing. So there lies the power of the tongue. You know, whatever spirit controls the tongue is the direction that the whole body is going to follow. We're going to jump back into verse 13. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, and demonic. For where envy and self-seeking exists, confusion and every evil thing are there. But the wisdom that is from above is pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Now, the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Amen. And that is the end of chapter 3. And once again, he's drawing the power of the wisdom and showing how if we attach the wrong wisdom to the tongue, it'll send us in the wrong direction. But the wisdom from God that is from above, he says, is peaceful, is gentle, is willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, and without partiality, without hypocrisy. Verse 18 again reads, now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. And he's making that distinction on what godliness looks like. Book of James is a book that shows the components of a Christian, of a believer. And that is the end of chapter 3. And I'll see you in chapter 4. Amen.